Alright guys, my name is Metagoblin and today I'm just giving you a very quick range weapon guide for the rogue class in Classic WoW. So when it comes to picking a range weapon, most people just kind of generally advise for you to get a stat squish weapon. Just get a weapon that has really good stats and then, you know, call it a day. And that is technically true. That is the general best strategy for optimizing your DPS in a raiding environment by a small fraction. That's what I'd recommend. So in a raiding environment, yeah, fair enough, get a good stat squish weapon with really high agility or strength or attack power. However, when it comes to leveling and solo content, the story is a little bit different. Just before we jump in guys, please do give me a quick follow on Twitch. Obviously I am playing a rogue live on Twitch right now, and I will be doing a little bit of cheeky raiding this Wednesday, so look forward to that. So let me draw your attention to my bow. When it comes to, you know, leveling and soloing, a lot of the time you are going to open combat by using the bow because it's just simply better for you to, you know, sometimes it's just better because it's faster and you're obviously, there's a lot of competition to get mob tags, so a lot of the time using your bow rather than running up to melee range is going to get the mob tag. Or maybe you're just chain pulling or whatever. The important thing obviously is you're only using your bow once, pretty much, to open combat, right? Which means you want your bow, in first instance of doing damage, the only time it actually does damage, you want it to do a lot of damage, right? Which means having a slow bow is basically best in slot for a rogue, and it will be better than a simple stat squish when it comes to, you know, soloing content, because the increased damage is going to be quite significant. So if you look at my bow, what I want to draw your attention to is the 41 to 77 damage range, particularly the highest number there. That is the only number you need to focus on really when it comes to picking a bow. You want that, if that number is higher, you know, if you find a bow out in the world and it has a high number for damage, then it's better, okay? More or less most of the time anyway. If it's like only a slightly better, then, you know, a stat squish one might be better, but nonetheless, most of the time you want to go for the highest damaging weapon that you can find, which is normally a slow weapon. Ideally, you know, you can get them over 3 seconds, and that's kind of like the sweet spot. And let me show you why. So if I need to poison my weapons, obviously that would make me look like a bit of a noob. So I'm going to open combat obviously with a bow, and it deals its damage. Pretty straightforward. But there's another thing that another technique that having a slow bow is really essential for. So if I pull this mob right now, like say I'm just, you know, I'm out in open world and doing questing, this damage number here is obviously quite important. If I had a fast bow, then that number would be less. And obviously I'm going to go into melee combat now, and I'm going to do the usual thing. But the point is, you're going to sneak in a little bit of extra damage with a slow, high damage bow. And I want to show you another technique. So obviously when it comes to gouge kiting, when you do this, fitting in bow shots in between your gouge kiting, we'll make an advanced video on gouge kiting soon, but obviously fitting in these like high damage bow hits or gun hits, whatever, is actually going to be quite important for gouge kiting to just basically save a little bit of time. Even if if you're soloing devil saws or something like that, you can only fit in like a little bit of damage. Like you only have a small window of time to actually do DPS with the bow. Most mobs are actually faster than this one, by the way, so normally you can only fit in one hit, and obviously it's going to be optimal to be able to fit in just a a bow hit that does more damage, because you can't do what hunters do and obviously like strafe and keep shooting. You can do it a little bit, but you only got leeway to do it twice, which is why, yeah, again, I recommend getting a slow bow. So to round off the video, obviously I would recommend getting a really good stat squish bow, because it will slightly optimize your DPS in a raiding environment, but I wouldn't just vendor a different bow. Like if you get a bow and it's got a really slow weapon speed, particularly the crossbows, obviously hunters will be needing on them, but if you're not in a group of a hunter, then if you want a really good slow crossbows drop, then I would definitely recommend getting one, because obviously when you're soloing content out in the open world doing gouge kiting, it is definitely optimal to have that slow high damage bow. So yeah, I just recommend like keeping one in your bags. All rogues should have 2 bows, one for raiding, one for solo content. That's just my general recommendation. Anyway, that's where I'm getting into the video there. My name is Metagoblin. To my next video, ciao.